Today we are all about how can we network at online events? How do we make it fun? How do we make it happen? How do we make it successful? Step one, turn off your mobile phone. That's what I'm just doing. Getting ready to go. Oh, it's the countdown. One of my favourite bits. And boom, here we are. Welcome to another exciting episode of Get Events Online. We'll be talking about networking. So many people have said to me, I miss face-to-face because I can't do my networking. Got to tell you, you can do networking online. It's different. It's a little weird. Takes more effort, and I want to share with you a few tips on how you can do it today. Hi everybody, I am Warwick Merry, CSP CVP, as triple certified presenter and event producer, based here in downtown Melbourne, Australia, where we've just come out of a snap 5-day lockdown. But with all my virtual events, hasn't made any difference because here I am, safely locked down in my own little studio, talking to you live on the internet. Hey, today is all about networking. That's the great thing about events. Oh, by the way, if you're the kind of person who runs events, does events, loves events, and you've got friends in your world who do it too, why not tell them to jump online and enjoy this little soiree we're having, this little tete-a-tete, where we can talk about all things online. So, how do you do it? What are the problems? Because here's the thing. A lot of people are saying to me that it's really hard to network online. This is the thing. Live face-to-face events are all analog. Online events, as you would expect, are digital. And there's a big variance in how we operate. It's a real challenge for sponsors, as I've talked about previously. So for face-to-face events, you have that analog, we're just walking around, you're having lunch, I'm having lunch, I don't know who you are. Hi, how you doing? What's going on? We can have a nice, safe, casual conversation. It may turn into something, and it may well be, oh, you're my number one competitor. How delightful. Bye. Same with sponsors, you can walk past the booths and not feel threatened that you're going to be force-sold something because you're here. So it becomes that, how do we replicate some of this analog or safe? Because the thing is, even the people who say we really love networking, we don't really like it super amounts. Like, oh yeah, it's great to meet new people, but it might be great for you, but the other people are like, they're very, out there. They're going to try and sell me something. So we have to try and make it safe, less formal. And I think that's one of the joys of online. We have become less formal. I love the concept of dress to the desk. And I'm not telling you what's happening beneath the desk. So is that, how do we connect in that analog kind of way, but we have to do it digitally? So some of the best networkers, in my experience, are introverts. And introverts are so good at networking because they listen. They're not sort of thinking, what do I say now? Let me talk more about me, and let me tell you about my products. Let me tell you about what I do. Let me tell you about my dog, my friend, my family. And I know this because I'm more extroverted and my lovely wife is a little more introverted. And it's very nice of me. It's a gift. I like to finish her sentences for her. And she and I have had a couple of discussions about that. But this is the thing. The introverts are so busy listening that when they do talk, even though they don't often say much and they have to fight to talk, what they say is well worth hearing. And so I suspect that extroverts could learn a heck of a lot if we just watched and listened to the introverts and looked at how do they do it? How do they get the less connections but quality connection? And it really is about the listening. So for us, we need to look at, okay, digitally, how can we do that? Now, if introverts, digitally, a little bit harder for you. You really do have to step up and be prepared to speak up. And the extroverts, we need to take into account everyone in the room. It's not just us. So here's the way that you can network more effectively, and that is go intimate. Now, by that, I'm just keep your head out of the gutter, peoples. What I'm talking about is get in a smaller group. For a lot of events, they'll go, hey, it's networking time. We're going to put you into a breakout room of 20 people. And what that means is there's about 15 people who can go, I'm just going to step back or check my emails. You want that 3 to 4. If you're creating an event and you can create roundtables depending on, whether it's AirMeet, Remo, certain functionality in Zoom, Teams, whatever the software platform that you're using, if you can do breakouts where they can get into groups of, look, really no more than 5. I'm a huge fan of 3 to 4 because that makes sure that everyone's participating in the conversation. And if someone for some reason doesn't need to, there's still enough people for it to carry on. You're getting a chance to connect. Now, don't forget, when we're networking, we're only speed dating. We're not trying to consummate the relationship. This is not about sign here, give me your money. It's just about, we're just getting to know who you are and qualifying you as to, are you of value to me in my network, and should we be creating a one-on-one coffee date, even if it's a virtual coffee date. So don't be expecting that any networking, be it face-to-face or online, gets straight to the deal straight away. It's really important that you take the time to take the time and just ease into it. In the same way, most people hate to be sold to. Thanks, Hassan. Yeah, look, I really think that 4, max 5 is a really good way for that intimate little conversation. Because again, it's not threatening. And this is the thing, you want it to be safe. People want to feel safe. So they don't want to be shoved into a room with a mass full of people that they don't know who they are or how to communicate with them. So nice, small, intimate is good. But not too short. I've been on events where they did like 3 or 4 minute breakouts. You barely get a chance to say, hi, this is who I am. So give people a chance to actually have that conversation. And if they want to leave, they can. But, 10 minutes is really nice. And again, as I said, it's speed dating. It's not consummation. We're really just looking at what are the key elements about yourself and about others. Leave a little mystery that needs further exploration on a coffee date. That's what you need to do. The other thing is, it's not all about you. Too often people go, right, I'm online, I don't have much of a chance, I'm going to just go bang and burst out there with all about me and my stuff. I think we've all heard about elevator pitches and USPs. If you haven't, do a bit of Googleage. So just to look at what are the key things about yourself that people really need to know. And it may well be that you start personally. I get sick of talking about business all the time. So offering a few personal observations. Winston the Wonder Poodle gets a big outing when I talk about, there's nothing like a fluffy poodle to get people's interest. And so there's typically a photo standing by where I can share of him. I've started doing a bit of woodworking, so I'll talk a bit about that. And it just creates that relationship. Know you, like you, trust you. So having that bit of knowledge about you versus feeling like I'm being scanned, is there future market potential here? So it is important that you get personal with it. I'd also say with online networking, attraction works better rather than promotion. So what that means is, not in a specific network setting, but in the larger event, use the chat box. Get known. Now, I'm not saying dominate the chat box, type all the time, which is a bad habit I've got. But it is about ask good questions. Contribute. If someone asks a question, make a comment like, oh, that's a great question. We have that problem too. Really interested in that. Like, be supportive. So you get that question, who is that person? Well, they're very generous, or I like their style, or they're a bit funny, or whatever it is. So be known. And you can't be known if you're sitting there. Unfortunately, introverts, this is you that I'm really directing this to, is you can't be known by sitting there. Now, it is a bit safer for you on digitally, because you might necessarily have to show your face, and you can just type a comment, which is a whole lot easier. A whole lot of keyboard warriors out there, and some of the really bad trolls can be in face-to-face quite introverted. But for us, no trolling. We don't want trolling on our events. But what we do want is contribution, and be someone who contributes. And at the end of the day, it takes effort. This is different. It's not easy. We've got wine and drinks. Woohoo! Wine, nibbles, cocktail party, just ploddling around talking to people. That's hard to emulate on a digital experience. But what you can do is start an easy conversation. As I said, take the time to take the time. You have to put in the effort for it. You don't have to, I'm not saying everyone should be an extrovert. Now you go. My theory is always be yourself, amplified. So just push yourself a little bit. when you're thinking of a great comment, but you're like, oh, no one wants to hear it, can I tell you they really do? The organiser really wants your input. They really want you to say something to contribute to the discussion. The number of times someone will put a comment out there and the speaker will be like, oh, that's such a good question, and they're able to incorporate that into their presentation. So it's really important to do it. So, look, I would suggest you just relax. If you need to, pop on a bit of background music, get yourself a nice glass of something and your nibbles at your desk as you network digitally. It is possible. It is valuable. I've got to tell you, after the last, here we're in Melbourne, we've been in lockdown for a large proportion of the last 12 months where we haven't really been able to get out and do stuff. And my business has grown significantly. And in fact, most of my clients I've never physically met. So networking is possible and able. So I'd strongly encourage you to give it a crack. Hey, look, if you have any questions, please get in touch. Here's my website. My email is warwick@warwickmerry.com. My thing's all about how do we get more events online? I think in the current tumultuous times, it's safer, it's healthier, and I suspect for the future, it's going to be around with us for some time. If you need some help getting your events online, reach out, get in touch. Hey, thanks for joining me. I do like these, and if you're just watching a recording, please put a comment, let me know what you think. I'd love to know what else you want to talk about. I've got some great comments about the kind of things. This networking title came up as a brainstorm session from a couple of my clients. So if you have something you want talked about, please let me know, and I'm happy to discuss it. All right, hey, thanks for joining me. Enjoy the rest of your day. Thus endeth the live stream. I look forward to your company next time. It's, at the end, you just got to hang around a bit because when you press stop, sometimes it cuts everything off. And, don't want that to happen.